Hi there, and welcome to the Arkansas E-Traveler. Today, I find myself in the last place on earth that I actually want to be. Electrify America in Rogers, Arkansas. And it's already gone horribly wrong. Let's get into it.
Whoa. Didn't you hear me at the end there? This is not going to be one of those good, happy reviews. We need something more like you would hear at the end of a Christopher Nolan film. Perfect. Whoa. Too dramatic. Let's just do lo-fi here. And you can already see the problem. The GMC Hummer EV next to me has already taken the plug from the spot that I pulled into. His 350 kilowatt charger would not work, so I had to wait for him to finish.
All right, so today is a very windy day. Hopefully this doesn't interfere with that too much. But here we are at this Electrify America station. We're at 22%. We came in at 4. We've been going for about 9.5, 10 minutes. And it's charging at a rate of 42 cents per kilowatt hour using plus pass or whatever they call it. It is in a Walmart parking lot, but that's the last time you're going to hear me mention Walmart because I don't want any confusion as I do cover the Walmart Energy project. This has nothing to do with that. This is an old, sad, decrepit Electrify America station. Now, you can already see the issue. These are ancient ABB Terra high-powered units. They work horribly, they're unreliable, and whenever it gets hot in the summer, they derate ridiculously. They also don't handle, it would appear to me, really good voltage, because even on a 150 kilowatt unit, my voltage should have that number closer to 110, but I'm splitting hairs at this point. So let's talk about what actually went wrong.
This location was installed by Electrify America in early 2019 using these units that debuted in 2017. Though cutting-edge technology at the time, these units were known for their derating in hot conditions, their lack of reliability, and their inconsistency with charging speeds. In 2024, Electrify America announced that they were moving funds from building new stations to refurbishing old stations using these ABB and Signet units. Clearly, that has not made it to Northwest Arkansas as of yet. This has led to many frustrations for EV drivers along I-49.
All right, so let's talk about what has brought us to this point. This unit is just awful. And a lot of people have kind of gotten to that point, and to the credit of Electrify America, they're improving. But the areas in which they are improving are areas that must have a higher rate of charging amongst EV drivers, like more frequent use than we see here in Rogers. But this is actually the place that kind of prompted me to create that NEVI in the natural state video that's totally obsolete now thanks to politics. But the point being that this particular location is absolutely unreliable. And yet this was the location on those maps that NEVI was relying on to cover a 50-mile gap with existing infrastructure. Now, there are some other alternatives around here, but we'll cover that later because I think anybody who comes to this area needs to know that this is not the only only operator here. There are other CPOs that can help you in much greater capacity. But ultimately, the story here is, to me, these locations here, these stations show everything that is wrong with Electrify America in 2025. But I was hoping I could give Electrify America credit and say that they also prove everything that they do right. But unfortunately, the results of today, I can't. See here, Station 2 and Station 3, both of the 350 kilowatt dispensers, they're out. Only the 150 with a CHAdeMO and the 150 in front of me are actually working. Now, last week, I checked the Electrify America app, and it said that 3 of these chargers were down. And given a few days, they tweeted me back and said, hey, nope, they're all online, all good. Now, I didn't know if they were trying to tell me I was wrong, which I have the receipts, or if they were trying to tell me that they fixed it. Either, it was irrelevant. But when I get here, the app says they're all online, but it's me, a Cadillac Lyric owner, and now a Ford Mustang Mach-E gorgeous green owner, and we're out here just playing musical chargers, trying to figure out which ones work. Folks, this is just not acceptable. And I hope Electrify America understands that. Now, let me give them credit. The conversion to the BTC units, in my experience, has been pretty successful. I know there are some other people who don't agree with that, but for me, those have been fine. And now that we see 2 locations where they're using Alpitronic hyperchargers, that is a very good thing, very, very promising. In fact, I visited one of those locations, and you can check that video out here. But for us in the interior United States, where maybe EV adoption is a little low, it's obvious that we're not the priority. Otherwise, we wouldn't have ABB units in front of us. And it looks like somebody's trying to get a charge, and I'm going to have to break their heart here. So stay tuned.
Now, for those who are traveling along I-49 in Northwest Arkansas, welcome. We're glad that you're here. It's not a totally grim picture for DC fast charging in Northwest Arkansas. It's just a sad picture for Electrify America. If you're in really dire straits and need to charge fairly close to Electrify America, you have a couple of options. First, you have this location in Rogers. It's at a Walmart neighborhood market. This is a single ChargePoint Express 250 unit, so you're only going to get about maybe 50 to 60 kilowatts, but it will get you to where you need to go. Also, it's totally free. I think that it was used for Walmart home delivery, and then they pivoted and they just left it there. So it is free. In Lowell, to the south, you do have a Tesla Superchargers V3. So if you have a Tesla, you can charge there, obviously. Or if you have a NACS adapter and a vehicle that is currently capable of charging on the Tesla Supercharger network, you can check out this location. Springdale has 3 locations. First, there is a Harps grocery store that has Francis Energy units. They're about 50 cents or so per kilowatt hour. You can visit there. Over here, there is a Pilot Flying J EV Go location that is rather expensive at 69 cents per kilowatt hour, but it is available for those who need it. But my favorite, and you've seen me visit here and talk about it, is the Walmart Energy Beta location at Supercenter 4108. This location utilizes ChargePoint Express Plus units, and you can charge there for free for a limited time. I'm not sure when that ends, but maybe when you're traveling through, it will remain free. So I suggest that one. So this wasn't the happiest site visit that I've ever done, but it's one that needed to be done. That station in Rogers has been trouble since the day that I bought my EV last July. And we try hard to keep them informed that there are issues. And to their credit, they've done what it took to at least get it back online. But as today proves, just because the app says that it is online doesn't mean that it's actually functional. And that's a problem. Again, that was the station that NEVI was going to rely on going through I-49 as it was supposed to complete its build out. But at any rate, I actually did not end up finishing the charge because so many people were coming in there and there were only 2 chargers. Turns out I got to about 60% and I decided to leave so that someone else who was in more dire straits than I could use it. Again, this is not a pretty picture for Electrify America, but I'm also perfectly aware that there are prettier pictures for Electrify America. I've used them. I love their flagship station in Chattanooga. I've seen the Alpitronics myself in Orlando. Brighter days are ahead for Electrify America, and I totally believe in what they're doing. Doesn't mean I can't be frustrated with them as they continue to leave I-49 behind. Anyway, I hope that you found this helpful. At least if you're coming through here, there are some options for you. Just leave Electrify America alone. And as soon as they make some progress there, I'll be the first to tell you about it. That's it for the Arkansas E-Traveler, and happy trails, everyone.